what he wants so. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Well, good morning. It is a Friday edition of the program, and if it's Friday, that means our chief grand poobah here at PressBox, Stan the Fan Charles, is back in studio with us. It's good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. I'm so sorry I missed last Friday now.
We had a fun
Trevor
show.
Rogers.
He was great. Just a fun day. And everybody kept asking. We had some in-studio guests last Friday. They were
Where's Stan?
Where's Stan?
Just the opposite of the Tarico
It's
thing.
the exact opposite of the situation. They were
Did
very
Rogers say that he wouldn't have done the show?
Griffin does this thing where he doesn't tell them. Like, he waits till the very last minute, and he's like, oh, by the way, it's just Glenn today.
Right.
Just Glenn. So they're already on hold, and they're like,
Right.
I guess I'm already
I'll do
on
it.
hold.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll look like an ass.
Fine. I'll go ahead and do that.
I'd call that good producing, you know.
Right. No, it's smart. I'm with you. It's very smart. So here's the way it works. I know we started a little bit early today. What happened was we told Stan that we were switching to this 1 hour format, and he said, I don't know if you're aware. I'm Stan the Fan Charles. I'm the chief grand poobah here at PressBox. I'm going to need a little bit more time than that. And I said, all right, we can give you 15 minutes. That's what you get. So
I'm leaving in 15
yeah,
minutes?
that's it. That's all we have for you. Thanks for swinging by. Appreciate it. Coming up on the show today, we're going to chat with Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer. As you know, we have a new print issue of PressBox, and he's got the cover story all about Derrick Henry and what a unicorn he is as someone who continues to thrive past the age of 30 at the running back position. So we'll talk to Bo about that. We'll get ready for Ravens Cowboys tomorrow night. We'll head to Bowie to chat with a member of the Chesapeake Bay Sox. This week, we're going to meet Juaron Watts-Brown, who came over in the Seranthony Dominguez deal with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Can you trust people with three names? I mean, can you really trust them?
I would say
Yeah.
because it's hyphenated, yes.
Okay.
But if it was not hyphenated, if this was a like John David Booty situation,
Right, or
no.
John David Crow.
John David, 100%, no.
Yeah.
But because it's hyphenated, it's technically
Juaron
only
Watts-Brown.
two.
Okay.
We can
Where's
still
the
roll with
hyphen?
that.
After
Between
the
Watts
Watts?
and Brown, yes.
Yeah.
Watts-Brown.
Okay.
So we will talk to him about coming over. He had the same story. Remember, they made a big deal about Seranthony Dominguez just switching clubhouses.
Yeah.
He did the same thing.
He did the same thing at Bowie,
in
right?
Yes, just went from the Fisher Cats to.
He kind of did a bye-bye Bowie.
Look at you! Look at you! There,
See what I did there?
There it is. We'll talk to him about that.
Who's your
Stan-
driver today?
Oh yeah, that's Sam. Sam's here.
Sam's here.
He's handling. It's a big day for us because, as you know, Stan, we throw a soiree every year, and we are throwing it tomorrow, and so we had to go get the pig roaster this morning. We had to go. We have to
And
go.
you really know how to roast a pig, don't
We
you?
do it every year, 100%. We have. I have.
Do you ever think of the poor pig?
No, never.
never
I was really worried when they were kids. Like the first time I brought home a dead pig.
Right.
They're gonna be like, no, we can't. No, they're these kids.
Well,
I'm starting to think they want it. In fact, Sam suggested.
We'll see what happens when you start bringing back a live pig, and then you're eating
Right.
it the next day.
So Sam this morning literally had like the financial question of the year. He's like, why don't we just buy a pig roaster? We do this every year.
Yeah.
And I said, you're right, Sam. We probably should just buy a pig roaster. And he said, and we should just grow the pigs at our house. And then we don't have to go through this whole process. I'm like, look at my guy thinking about finances. Look at him. Love
He's
this
a genius.
guy. Love him.
He's a genius.
As he sits out there and plays Roblox.
Where do you buy a dead pig?
Oh, it's so random.
Or do you just pull
Stan,
them
if
off
you
the
knew-
side of
if
the
you knew,
road?
This looks like a drug deal. I'm going to leave here today. I'm going to drive to the park and ride on Middletown Road in Parkton. I'm going to meet a shady character who's going to pull up in her truck, and she's going to...
This is a woman with a dead
Her
pig.
name is Lynn. She's wonderful, but it's weird. I'm going to go buy about 12 bags of ice, and I'm going to go put the pig in the back of my wife's car, surround it with ice, and that's that. and it will look like a drug. We will meet in the parking lot. I will give her money. She will give
Have
me
you
pay.
bought from her before?
I've done it for 13 years.
Oh, same woman.
Same woman
Okay.
every year. It's never failed me other than the price of the pig. It's gone up dramatically.
What in
over the
13 years? What is it like?
I think when we first started getting pigs, it was like $1.75 per pound, and it's like $4 per pound.
And how many pounds is a pig? Like 20,
100
100 pounds?
So, yeah.
So 100 times.
For a long time, we got a 100-pound pig, and it didn't even feed everybody at the party because we would have like 300 people show
Right.
up. Now we all have kids and everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll probably still have.
Now
we'll
there's
probably have some
700
left over.
people.
Correct.
Now there's 700.
Everybody's got their own thing. The number of people. Look, it's a big weekend around here. BMW Championship,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people headed out there. So, but yeah, we got a busy day, Sam and I. Sam and I have a very busy day today.
So he's the man. Sam the man.
Sam the man. Sam the man. Stan, were you at the game yesterday?
No, yesterday I was not at the game.
It was
Good one to-
absolutely hilarious. So we were sitting here. It's a beautiful sunny day, watching the game, and all of a sudden we look up, and there's a monsoon.
It was unbelievable.
A monsoon.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to play through it.
Yep.
And Griffin and I are kind of looking at each other like, what are they doing?
They
This is courtesy
clearly
of
had
Madsen.
some intelligence that this was going to be a quickie.
Passing.
A quickie, and then they might be able to get the game finished. And they ended up with a cluster.
Well, it
cluster
created this kind of borderline embarrassing scene
Yeah.
where Tomo Sagano, now I guess Melanie Newman explained that like in Japan, they don't play if it's drizzling.
Right.
If it's drizzling,
Right.
they go into a rain delay.
Right.
So Tomo Sagano is on the mound like, dude, what the F are we doing here?
Right.
And they're calling him for a pitch clock violation,
Right.
and he's just like, dude, are you kidding me?
Right.
And everybody involved, it's this kind of awkward situation where we all know it's a getaway day. So we all understand why they don't want to delay the game. They want to try to get through the game if possible, but it turned into theater of the absurd at that point where we all were seeing the same thing, which is this is kind of this. It looked like when they were trying to force the Speedway game on the Saturday night a couple weeks ago. And there was
Oh,
a
yeah.
puddles in the
River,
field.
and the
Yeah.
announcers,
infield.
we'll be right back with baseball
Yeah,
right
right.
after this.
God, it just sort of looked like that. Now, ultimately, the bummer for Tomo Sagano is that he was dealing yesterday and he wasn't able to come back out after a lengthy rain delay. But he did end up getting the win nonetheless as the Orioles hang on in the ninth inning. Our friend Zach Moore tweets out, Griffin, if you can show me that one more time just so I can see it. Interesting. I did not know about this, Dan. I'm not sure if you were there this day. Were you there the day that Tomo Sagano spoke about the fact that he thought he might be tipping his pitches?
No.
So apparently 5 starts ago, Tomo Sagano told reporters that he at least told Andy Koska of the Baltimore Banner that he thought he might be tipping his pitches. In the 5 starts since this, 23 and a third innings, so not, 2.31 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
He's allowed 6 total earned runs, just 1 home run, 6 walks, 19 strikeouts, and a sub-1 whip. So if that's the case, that he was tipping his pitches, then it goes a long way.
How many starts was he supposedly tipping his pitches? Like 10 starts?
I don't know if he said
The
in
numbers
that.
definitely were down for. There was a stretch there where it was
you
like,
could
he
you
could barely make it 5
definitely go
innings,
back
if
and
that.
probably,
Yeah, you could look at his game logs and
Now,
Probably something to it.
what
Yeah.
what good does that do the Orioles? I don't know.
Doesn't do him any good now, but
Neat that Tomo Sagano's pitching well, but he's not on the team moving forward unless they see
decide.
enough in the
Yeah.
rest of the year to say, we thought it was worth the risk last year. We still think it's worth the risk. We think we've identified the problem. The problem was tipping pitches, and
I think the biggest problem with Sagano I've had all year was that mustache that he
it
tried
wasn't
to
great.
grow.
Yeah,
It was
wasn't
one of
great.
the
I don't-
slimiest
I don't
looking
disagree with you
mustaches.
about that. I don't disagree at all.
And
It's-
Gunner, I love me some Gunner Henderson.
oh, my kids are not.
I do not like his mustache.
See, they're the exact opposite.
They
don't,
love his
They don't
look.
like the shaved look. It bothers them
I'm
a great deal.
yeah.
So I bring it up because there's kind of it's a two.
We're hitting the really important
This is-
stuff now.
Rita and I still
this
do
is
the
why we had to start
podcast,
early.
and we have a producer. His name is Caleb on the podcast. Great guy. He was our producer over on the radio station. And Caleb, like 3 years ago, in the middle of a game, and we were doing shows and the games were going on at the same time, and so it was a little bit difficult to do. he looked up, and I don't remember who he was talking about, but he's like, he's really handsome. And I said, do you want to give me your top 5 most attractive Orioles? And so we did an entire segment about Caleb's top 5 most attractive Orioles. He brought it back this year.
Okay.
The top 5. I don't remember who he referenced, but we agreed he had Ramon Laureano rated criminally too low. Like, we kept looking at Ramon Laureano and said, that's a handsome man. That man should be number 1 on this list. And I think he had him at number 4. So there was great controversy.
You know, it's interesting. I did talk radio in this town for over 20 years.
And you never did this segment?
Never.
I can't believe
never
you
thought
never
of
did
doing a
most
segment on the
attractive.
most
I
attractive.
can't believe you never did. Well, you did the hot
I did a
moms
week
segment
on
that Griffin
Anna
loves so
Kournikova.
much.
I did a week on Anna
sure you
Kournikova.
did.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised it was
But
only
it wasn't
a week.
on the air.
Yeah. Surprised that's all it was. So I asked this question. It's kind of a 2-part question to you. The first being, we talked about this yesterday. Are you at a point with Trevor Rogers where you want to talk about an extension?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what those numbers are. That's one of the problems that I'm having, because we had this conversation yesterday, is what is the number for a Trevor Rogers extension? Our friend Zach Moore, Pigtown Sports, also tweets out that apparently recently, I think maybe 2 starts ago, Spotrac, which does a lot of the work related to contracts, suggested that the market value for Trevor Rogers would be 6 years of $41 million. Those numbers seem so favorable. Now, nobody likes to commit to 6 years to a pitcher, but at that favorable of a number, you kind of find yourself saying absolutely. But is that really the number? Like, pitchers that are question marks.
There's two points here. Number one, he's never earned I don't know his finances, whether he comes from money or anything like that, but he's never earned any real money before. So you could say, hey, he's locking up security for his family for pretty much for life, if he handles his money correctly. The other is hit him with a number. To me, the right number is something like 3 years at $27 million. But then you build in 2 more options where you might be able to control something. I'm not that sophisticated with contracts, but then the next year is like $14 million and the next year's 17, but he has to meet certain performances. So the contract ends up being more like 5 for 60, but you're not locked in after 3,
Let me quickly remind everybody, today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health, Owings Mills, Columbia, and Frederick. If you're a man of a certain age and you are struggling, they're here to help you and try to make you feel more like yourself. And they've been doing that for me with peptide treatment, but you might be low T. They'll give you a complimentary testosterone test if you sign up GameDayMen'sHealth.com. You can give them a call, Owings Mills 443-264-4454, Columbia 443-266-3505, Frederick 240-931-3717 for Game Day Men's Health. Stan, I'm absolutely inclined to try to put a number in front of him that you think is favorable to you and just see what he says. The issue
I think it's favorable to him, too.
And this is the real problem that Stan, I am so confused about what the price of pitching is anymore. Because we're talking about pitchers that are getting $20 million flyers, right?
Here's the deal. Next year, through arbitration, he's going to probably make $3 million, three and a half maybe.
Yep.
So you're guaranteeing him right off the bat $6 million more than he would get for the year. But if he wants to bet on himself, and next year he goes 15-5. And his ERA is 2.3.
Even if it's around 3. Even if it's 3 to 3.
You might be looking at that point, he's made 3.5 next year. Then he might be looking at 45 for 3.
I think he could be looking easily at the $18 million. Like the price of pitching is so.
He could be looking at a deal like Eflin got. If he has another real
we're talking
big
about
year.
them taking a $20 million flyer on Eflin next year, right? Like
I'm not talking about that. There's no way they're going to give him the qualifying offer. They're not paying him $20 million.
Who's going to pitch for the team?
What's that?
Who's going to pitch for this team? Like that's
the pitching on the team is not in as bad a shape as we tend to think of it. Clearly they're going to have to go out and spend some money on at least 1 and probably 2. But you start with, this is fingers crossed, that Bradish is back. Rogers, Kramer, Povich. Okay,
I
that's
can't
at
make-
least
I
get you,
can't
and
make any
maybe
plans about Povich.
Sagano.
Yeah,
maybe
I
Sagano.
can't make any plans with Povich. He's the eighth guy to me at this
Okay.
point. That like,
But that's
Yeah.
better than not having an eighth guy.
well,
you know.
I don't disagree with
I
that.
think he's
part.
more like the sixth, seventh guy. But I hear you.
Yeah.
But let me see how he looks the next 6 or 7 starts. you know.
So Kyle Bradish makes a rehab start yesterday for the Norfolk Tide. Strikes out the side in the first inning. Gets
Right.
everybody all fired up. There you see a little bit of that, courtesy of the Norfolk Tides and their broadcast crew yesterday. It was good to see Kyle Bradish back out on the mound and finished going 5 innings, scoreless, allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, which is very encouraging. But it's the eternal question with Kyle Bradish, like it's becoming with so many other guys, which is, are you floating into it's just going to be something else next May territory? And I don't know the answer to that. But hopefully, to the point, he's a part of the solution. My answer is it's got to be 2 guys that you still have to plan on them being on the top-ish half of the rotation. If it's not an ace, and I get it, there's very few of those guys available. Like Zach Gallen is available
Yep.
and will be in demand by everyone.
Everybody. Yep.
Who else is available that's truly an ace caliber pitcher? If you get this version of Trevor Rogers, I get it. He is an ace, but I'm not there where I'm confident. This
I'm
is
not
absurd,
100%. I'm not 100% locked in that Bradish and Rogers are 1-2 for me next year. I have them in the rotation. I clearly want something. I won't say better than them, but more certain than them. I need one guy that's more certain. Then I need another solid guy. So you're looking at a good chunk of money next year.
So
On the starting
significant
pitcher.
amount of money to
Yeah.
try to build this rotation.
And now I think you got to go out and plan on buying, like, say, a Kenley Jansen next year
it looks
as
like you,
well.
yeah, correct. It
Yeah.
looks like you don't have a closer for
No.
maybe the entire season again.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
the wording that's been used is not encouraging to the idea
No,
that
it's not encouraging for the future of
Correct.
Felix Bautista.
100%.
That the Orioles can count on him. What works in their favor with him, to give it time, is that he's not making a lot of money. So they can go a couple years, but they cannot go a couple years saying, well, we got Felix Bautista in the
Yeah.
back end.
nope, not at all.
But
They-
I worked together last night. I really was looking at this bullpen because they clearly are going to need about 4 or 5 different arms than they had this year.
and for
I see-
some reason still seem hell-bent about Tyler Wells not be like it's
To me, it's
real to me.
You remember I was right about DL Hall.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Okay. Tyler Wells.
But I
is the same.
understood then. This is the pushback that I would give to that.
Yeah.
I think they did the right thing then because the team wasn't very good. So give it everything that you possibly can
Yeah.
to make DL Hall a starter, and then make the move. To me,
I look.
I know.
I'm wrong plenty of
Right.
the time, but this was one I was because I looked at his innings pitched.
I understand.
And I look at Tyler Wells' innings pitch. When is he going to – he's 30 years old
Yep.
now. He's not like 24. When is he going to ramp up to give you 160 innings?
100%.
Next year, he's a 90-inning pitcher. 90 to 100 innings tops.
Yep.
Tops.
I'm Stan,
So
it
use him
makes
for 50
It
innings.
makes no sense
Yeah.
to me. No
So
sense.
I didn't even include him in my bullpen.
Yeah.
But I looked at 2 pitchers. Number one, I'm not going to totally turn over the closer role to Dietrich Enns, but I'm liking what I'm seeing.
He's got to put
with
less
him.
guys on base. He's got to put less guys
No
on
question
base.
about it. No question about it.
He's done well pitching himself out of
Yep.
trouble, but
But you got to like the strikeout stuff.
I agree with it, but
Okay.
he flirts with disaster.
Yeah, I got you.
a
I
lot.
got you. There's a pitcher that's on the Cubs now who used to be a starter for Kansas City, Brad Keller.
Mm-hmm.
I think a 2-year, $8 million contract would snag Brad Keller for the Orioles to be a really solid setup guy, maybe a closer, because this is a guy who at one time was a starter. I would also sign Hobie Milner. I'd try and sign him. He's with Texas, not making a lot of money, 35 years old. I'd give him 2 years, $8 million. they've got to go into next
Well,
year
that's-
with a real bullpen.
But I think the problem that I start to have, and the reason why I start to go down the really negative side of this is I'm now talking about needing 2 legitimate top-ish of the rotation-ish of the rotation starters, 4 or so bullpen pieces, and at least 1 more legitimate bat. Probably at this point, if they are completely uncommitted to Colton Cowser, they probably have to find a center fielder. That's a lot. It's an awful lot in this overhaul that we're talking about. And to say, hey, if you're not willing to do that, then what is the point of all of this? I think is an easy thing to say, except for we're all still puzzled about why they weren't doing that a year ago, and we still kind of don't have an answer to that question as to why they weren't willing to do it a year ago. And that's where I have this struggle of, am I confident they can be back in the equation next year? Not at all, because that's what it takes. This scenario that we're like,
they've got a lot to.
There's a 7 or so part plan that we're talking about, and it still involves a better Adley Rutschman and a better Colton Cowser and a better
real
Jackson
Kobe Mayo.
Yep, right.
Yeah.
All of these things.
Yep.
It's still there's a lot of pieces to this equation, and
Whereas a year ago,
you felt like
you felt like the Orioles were going to be a really contending team that mattered, relevant team for 6 or 7
100%.
years. You know,
and
now
a year ago at this time, we still thought, even as they were disappointing in the second half, we still thought the offseason was 3 to 4 moves that would really fortify the group of young players that they had. You needed 3 to 4 legitimate. Obviously, one of them had to be a top of the rotation type of pitcher. You probably needed one other like mid-rotation type of pitcher. You still thought you needed like maybe a bop bat, and they thought they got that in Tyler O'Neill. I understand.
Right. And they're going to have him.
Oh, he's going to be a part of it. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
He's going to be a part of it.
Keep him away from walls. Keep him away from the field.
It's funny you say you're completely out on Eflin, and I get it, right? Like I understand.
I'm not
the
saying
thought,
I wouldn't bring him back.
right? You just don't want
I'm
to do
not
it at
giving
the
him
qualifying offer.
$21 million.
I'm just in this really weird place where if they don't, then what? Like that, I keep coming back to that.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people you can get for $12 million.
I understand. Stan,
I think
but
Eflin would pitch here for $10 to $12 million. I don't think he's
I
going
guess
to be held
I
back.
guess the question would be why here instead of somewhere else, right? Like if the word was that he wanted to go back to Tampa, and that's what everybody kept saying. was that
But will
Zach
Tampa
Eflin
give
really,
someone?
It's a fair question, but
$12
I would argue
So
that's
why
the
do
number
they need him? They don't need him.
because they always want more pitching in Tampa. They always want to have.
They don't like high-end costing pitching.
I agree, but you would think that $10 million would be the type of thing that they would look at and
Yeah.
say, oh, this is where we end up being brilliant again.
Yeah.
We get someone who has potentially a $20 million value at a $10 million price.
But they might.
And we could also move him again at the deadline and try to get 3 more assets. This is the way the Rays do business. I don't want to pay Zach Eflin $21 million, but
I would almost guarantee you that there's no way in hell they're going to pay him.
it's a tough thing for them to do with assets, man. Like they don't. When you have an asset, you don't like the idea of it getting you nothing.
What
in
is
return.
Sagano worth now? Given this new
I mean, if this
intel,
continues for the rest of the season,
yeah.
I still don't know that it's a lot more. I still think it's in the $8 million neighborhood.
He was 13 this
I know,
year.
but I just think that there's enough there that at that age,
I think he'd go back to Japan for $8
that might be the
million.
answer,
Yeah,
right? Like, that might be.
I would think about a 2-year, $30 million deal for him if he finishes up strongly.
I was thinking probably big 15 million as well. Like I mean,
I don't think I would do it.
you're looking at a guy that's healthy and.
I mean, you're talking about offering Eflin 21,
Yeah,
and
because I think the high end of Zach Eflin is higher than the high end of Tomo Sagano. Like that's
he's beginning to look a little like the pitching version of Tyler O'Neill.
there's a
though.
conversation to be had about that.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not disagreeing that there are problems related to it, but I think there's a greater payoff for your risk than there is for the payoff on the Sagano risk, which is that if it works out, he's a kind of a number 4, number 3 starter at the best, right? Like I struggle with it, man. That's also the price of pitching. I do get it. And I think they need to do better than that, but they, to the argument, need to do that too? Maybe. Maybe that's the answer. Orioles play the Astros this weekend because the season does continue. They will continue to play baseball games, and that means you get to see more Jeremiah Jackson, baby. More. They did have that nice slide into the play yesterday. That's the part that nobody was talking about enough. The French Open slide into the ball in right field yesterday in order to keep his momentum and turn around and make that throw. That was.
He's been an interesting little player.
Right. That's the right word.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know exactly what Jeremiah Jackson is, but this is the play. Jake Rill from MLB.com shared it. This is the play from yesterday. Was this in the first inning or this was in the? Yeah, it was in the first inning where.
You actually can. First of all, I can't see it because of light, but you can actually see stuff there.
Yeah, 100%. There's the play. Was it Naylor?
Yeah, Naylor.
Naylor.
Long at bat with Naylor.
Out in the right field, and Jeremiah Jackson slid into it. You can't really see it on that particular.
They may not show the
when
replay.
they show the replay, you see the slide is impeccable. Like that looks like someone who knew exactly what he looked like. Rafael Nadal sliding into a ball at the French Open. So, very nice play from Jeremiah Jackson to get Naylor at second base in the first inning yesterday. You'll get to see a lot more of Jeremiah
Hopefully
Jackson.
no balls are hitting the air to him. You know.
That has been
Just keep him on the ground.
a little
Then
bit
he,
of an
then he
adventure.
remembers how to throw the ball.
Little bit of an adventure. Today's show also brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. Stan, Ross,
Is that
and
what it's
Luke
called now?
every
The
Monday.
Stan the Fan Variety.
Well, we never know. Maybe one week. Sometimes you throw in
The Ed
conversations with
Sullivan
Vince
Show.
Pellegrino. Have you watched the Ed Sullivan documentary on Netflix yet?
I watched about 15 minutes of it, and it was just late at night.
Oh,
and I said, I'm not going to watch this whole thing right now.
So you know his
It was great.
granddaughter who made it is like she lives in Annapolis.
No.
Margot, what's her name? Margot Precht Special, is that her
Correct.
name?
Is she single?
I don't know. We didn't ask that. We had her on to
I
talk
was
about
thinking
it.
of fixing her up with Griffin. Although she's probably about 60.
I know. I think she was. I don't know. It seems like she's
So
pretty
anyway,
settled.
strongly recommend Sunday Best for those of you that haven't watched it on Netflix. Outstanding documentary.
Never really watched Ed Sullivan all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Never quite realized what he was doing,
For black performers.
with all the
Yeah.
black performers.
It's not something that I had
It
ever
was-
thought. Because we all associate Ed Sullivan with the Beatles and
Yeah.
with Elvis,
Yeah.
and we don't think about all of the things that he was willing to do. It's like, I guess if you watch 15 minutes, you see like how his passion started from being a sports writer
Yep.
and finding out that, where was he at? Was he at,
I mean, he was in New York, but
no,
like,
but what
yeah.
school was he at where he was
Was it
writing?
NYU?
Might have been NYU.
Because he was talking about
Was
NYU
not
football
going to let
games.
their own black players play against Georgia
Right.
because Georgia was uncomfortable with playing against black players, and he wrote this like scathing piece about that decision, and that sort of fueled his interest in giving opportunities to black artists.
That's fascinating.
I never knew anything
Yeah.
about the story, and I thought it was incredibly compelling. But anyway, Stan the Fan, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson, every Monday, talking baseball, Facebook.com. You have a time for this coming Monday?
So roughly 5 o'clock.
Roughly 5 o'clock.
Roughly 5 o'clock.
This coming Monday, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. As always, Stan shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open at the Grandstand.
Had dinner last night there.
What'd you have?
I had a shrimp salad sandwich and a bowl of delicious Maryland crab
You do the Maryland
soup.
crab
Yeah.
soup. I prefer the cream of crab soup when I'm at the Costas Inn. Have you had the crab jalapeno poppers?
No, but my wife had like a crab. I won't. Infused is the wrong word. A crab-filled egg roll or something
okay.
like some.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure it was excellent. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it was excellent. Oh, yeah, Griffin, before we go to break, there was a little bit of an accident that was made on one of the TV stations in Atlanta. Stan, we're going to talk football when we come back in with Bo Smolka. They're excited about their new quarterback in Atlanta.
Michael Penix.
Well, that's not what WTOC in Atlanta thinks. WTOC in Atlanta, they think that there's I guess it's in Savannah. It's not in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They,
Isn't that how you spell Penix?
they think that they have a different quarterback. They think his name is Michael Penis. I told Griffin a great story. When it wasn't Sam, it was my older son Graham. When he was little, he came in one day and he called me a penis. He said, "Dad, you're a penis." And I said, "Hey, you don't do that." And he said back, "I'm sorry, you're Mr. Penis." And I said, "Thank you. Thank you."
That's all you wanted,
That's
the respect.
Little respect. Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer, joins us next. Stands here. It's a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantopoulos family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of PressBox is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg looks at Kobe Mayo's push to find rhythm at the big league level. And we mark the start of the college football season by meeting players from all 4 FBS and FCS programs throughout the state. PressBox is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCRs, continue along on a Friday edition of the program. Griffin just informed me that I guess the NCAA has finally ruled on the Michigan sign-stealing scandal. Jim Harbaugh will not be allowed to coach at Michigan for like 10 years. My gosh, golly.
How could they?
He's got to be.
How can they do that to
right?
Michigan? Just
got to be really struggling. Why? What'd he do? Sharon Moore, their current head coach, apparently will be suspended for a total of 3 games. He was already going to be suspended for 2 this year, and then he's going to be suspended for 1 more next year. So let me just go ahead and take a look at the Michigan football schedule to see if there's. No, they could have done it this year. Is he going to miss the Oklahoma game? All right, that's a real game to be suspended for. The 3rd game would have been Central Michigan, but instead he's going to be suspended for what it makes. I don't understand it. I couldn't possibly tell you, but all I know is that the NCAA is plenty feckless. So if they really didn't want to, they probably would just say, "Nah, we're not gonna," and the NCAA would say, "Okay." That's the way the college sports works anymore.
What are you talking about? They would, they'd hold them to it.
I'm so sure. Speaking of that, we talked a lot yesterday about the bizarre. Are you aware of the story with Raishi Rice, Stan?
No.
So Rashee Rice, the Kansas City Chiefs, was involved in this hit-and-run accident 2 off seasons ago.
Right.
And finally pled guilty over the summer, and, he's going to have to serve 30 days of jail time. We know that he's going to be suspended for multiple games, apparently. But not at the beginning of the season. For some reason, they're not scheduling his disciplinary hearing until a month into the season.
Well, it's very hard to, it's very hard to get these disciplinary.
Yeah, I mean, how could you possibly figure out a way to make all
worry
this?
About his schedule.
He's probably got a fly coach, you know what I mean? My God. And everybody that,
and who are they playing the first 3
it's
weeks?
so weird how they have, the big game in Brazil to start the season. They've got a Super Bowl rematch in there. The Ravens game is in there. Really weird how it works out that he'll be available for some of the biggest games on the schedule. It's just crazy how that goes. Everybody's running with it now. What the hell is happening? Hey, there's a new print issue of PressBox available. It's all over town. Wherever you go to find PressBox, you can find this print issue with Derrick Henry on the cover.
Who wrote the cover story?
That cover story.
That cover story is so
It
well
is outstanding,
written.
absolutely. It was written by our next guest. He covers the Ravens for PressBox. He is our friend, Mr. Bo Smolka, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Bo, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you.
Bo, this story and the path of sort of the unicorn aspect of Derrick Henry. I don't remember how much you and I talked about it together, but I have had to admit a few times that when the Ravens decided to sign Derrick Henry, one of my first responses was, I don't know, man, giving money to a running back at this age, I know he's good, but is that the best way? I had to eat an awful lot of crow and say, I'm an idiot. This has been perfect. Why that route with this story, the unicorn route, and what did you most learn about how unique it is what Derrick Henry's doing?
Well, let's go back to when they signed him. And you're right, because if you remember, the year before with Tennessee, he had one of his least productive years in terms of average yards per carry. And again, part of that was related to Tennessee's offense at the time, and there were other factors, obviously. But that was definitely a question. People thought, wait a minute, he's 30. 30 is, as I wrote, is considered kind of a fault line in the NFL for running backs. It's kind of the magic number when things go south. And so adding a player who was 30 and coming off an unproductive year, there were plenty of people that questioned the move and what they could get out of him. And I remember him being asked at his press conference that day when they signed him. And I wrote about that in the story as well, that someone said, well, what do you say to those people who say you're on the down, you're headed south at age 30? And he said something to the effect of, I would tell them to just keep watching. And it's just that he and Lamar Jackson, I think, were just such a good pair together. And I think that's a big part of it, is that it's one thing to have to deal with stopping Derrick Henry, but when you have to also deal with Lamar Jackson and his ability to run and his ability to deceive with the RPO plays and the threat of him running, it just changes how defenses can play. It changes how they line up. It changes how they move once the ball is snapped. And all of that, if you just get the defense going in the wrong direction for half a second, it's trouble. And those two together were just proved to be a really, really good fit. As for him being able to produce at his age, I mean, it comes down to him, first of all, as his head coach in high school told me, he's a DNA touched by God element to him, which I thought was a great quote. He's just physically, I will say this, I've covered the NFL for 15 years. The NFL is full of absolute physical specimens, and he is, to me, by far the most impressive of all. I mean, he's just ridiculous. He looks like he was built in a lab. And to his credit, it's not just, he works at it. He works at it phenomenally hard. He's tremendously dedicated to it, and that's a huge part of it. So he is, at age 30, he's dismissing this idea that he's too old to keep doing this. And the other thing that struck me in the story when I first started talking to his high school coach was this idea that, much like Lamar Jackson, he was told, you can't do this. You're too big to do this. Lamar Jackson was told, you can't be a quarterback. You're going to be some other position than quarterback in the NFL. There were plenty of people, you recall, that said he's not an NFL quarterback. He's going to be something else. Well, coming out of high school, Derrick Henry was told by a lot of college coaches, they saw his size and said, you're not a running back. You're going to be something else. Maybe you'll be a defensive outside linebacker. You'll be something other than running back. Because running back, you're just too big to be a running back. That's not what running backs look like. And he never once wavered from the idea that he was a running back. He was going to be a running back. He always was a running back. He always would be a running back. And he obviously proved every one of those people wrong.
Yeah, worked out okay. Worked out decently.
Bo, those workouts that he does, did he devise those, or, do you know? Did you?
I don't know, but I know he works hard with that trainer in Dallas, and I imagine it was a combination of the two of them coming together with them. I mean, I know they got the workouts where he's running up hills, pulling chains and weights behind him, and he's in that Dallas gym twice a day, every day, all summer or all off season. I believe it was a combination of him and his trainer in Dallas setting that up, but honestly, I'm not sure of that.
Because I thought he might have been watching my workouts.
Right, correct, yes, and modeling them after them.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But one more on Derrick Henry, and I really do encourage everybody to check this out, and we'll link up the story as well on our Twitter account, @GlennClarkRadio. Is there any danger, based on what we saw last year, that now we say, well, Derrick Henry can do this till he's 50, and they sign him to this contract, and we all say, is there any danger that, like, hey, in the NFL, there's still the possibility that at some point he just runs off a cliff?
I mean, yeah, there's a possibility. And look, it's the NFL. He could get hurt on any play.
Oh, yeah, of course,
and that's
right.
part of it. I mean, that could happen. I think I would be surprised. I don't have it in front of me now. He had like 325 carries last year, which is still it's a crazy number. It was the second most in the league, behind Barkley, I believe it was. And I mean, that's not what they expected, I don't think. But again, the game dictates how it goes, and he was, in a lot of those wins, he would close it out by carrying the ball. Now, I think having a healthy Keaton Mitchell will change that a little bit. I don't know how much Keaton Mitchell will carry the ball, but I think it won't be none. And if he's healthy, that is. And I think that would probably affect the number of carries Henry gets. All is this to say, I don't think Henry will have as many carries as he had last year. But if he's healthy, he'll get the ball, and so far, we haven't seen him slowing down. I mean, he still looks as physically impressive as he did last year. Again, we're not going to see him in preseason games, so we really can't judge it against starters until the games begin. But, could he slow down at age 31 now that he is? Sure he could, but I don't see it really. I mean, I don't see him falling off a cliff. I just think the physical ability of him is too great. I think an injury would be the thing that would slow him down, and then recovering from that might be a whole other issue.
Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer, with us here on GCR. Bo, the Ravens will play another preseason game tomorrow down in Dallas. There's two storylines between now and the start of the season that have become the most interesting for me, and I want to talk to you about both of them. The first one to me is David Ojabo and whether or not he makes the roster. And I know he spoke the other day, and you wrote about him, and
it's a terrific column.
Saying all the right things and finally feeling healthy. But there is a roster problem there. I mean, there's 5 guys that appear to be ahead of him at the edge rush position. If Adisa Isaac is indeed ahead of him, of course, there is the fact that he was a second-round pick, and the team doesn't like giving up on second-round picks. What is the reality for David Ojabo at this point?
Yeah, I think he's the most compelling of all the quote bubble guys, as you said. I'm not sure, honestly, that I would put Adisa Isaac ahead of him, except the fact that you have Adisa Isaac for 3 more years and you have Ojabo for 1, and I think that has to play in the decision making. If I had a gut right now, I think they'd keep all 6 of them, which I'm not sure they will. All 6 out edge rushers. It's not something they normally do. The thing with if Ojabo played special teams, I think he would be a certain guy to make it, but he really hasn't played a lot of special teams. And that's a big part of it. I mean, when you get down to the last few roster spots, it's how are you contributing on special teams? Having not, they didn't lose any edge rushers, and they added Mike Green. So it's a crowded field, and Ojabo to me is the most compelling. John Harbaugh has been adamant about Ojabo this year. At one point, he came out and said he thought the narratives about Ojabo's lack of production were, quote, insulting. He took offense to that. Now, you don't know if that's him trying to build up Ojabo
right.
for potential trade discussions or what. But Ajabo would possibly be a guy. If they didn't think there was room for him, you certainly might look to trade him and get something in return instead of just losing him at the deadline and then possibly, could he come back and sign him back to the practice squad? Maybe, but there's likely he's a guy that might get claimed if you cut him. So I think it's really interesting. He's a very interesting guy. If I had to, I haven't done my mock 53 yet, and I know he'll come down to being like number 52 or 53 or 54. And because if you keep him, you're taking away someone else. Does that mean you're taking away an extra offensive lineman? Does it cost you extra defensive back? So those are numbers games they have to play. But I feel like they're still very wary about giving up on a second-round pick who hasn't really been fully healthy until this year.
The other one that to me, and I know speaking of defensive, obviously we heard Todd Monken the other day about as colorful and animated as he could be about it. Is there to you any debate that Daniel Faalele is the starting right guard? Do you believe the defensiveness of the Ravens, or they say, you guys don't know what you're talking about, we know this guy can play?
I think he's the starting right guard because I haven't seen anything in all the practices that we've watched to indicate he won't be. If they thought they had someone better to play at right guard, that player would be in there a lot more, and that just doesn't happen. They are the same like Ajabo. It feels like they're really getting kind of tired of the criticism of Faalele. They hear it, even though they say they don't pay much attention to the outside noise. They clearly hear it, and every now and then it strikes a nerve with them. Obviously his size is impressive. They like the progress he's made. Remember, he came in as a tackle, and they moved him into guard, and they said all the right things. And they've got other interior linemen in the building, but whatever combinations they try to use, it always ends up with Faalele at the top at right guard. So, I do think he will be the starting right guard. And they'll have their 2 or 3 backup guys, but I think it's Faalele.
So what else, Bo? What else is still most compelling to you, most interesting over the course of the next couple of weeks? I mean, I guess at this point, over the course of the next 10 days before they end up setting this roster.
Well, I mean, I wrote this morning about some bubble guys that are, the roster. This is not a roster that has a whole lot of openings on it with the number of players they brought back, and they have the huge draft class. The kicking competition is over. That was one of probably the most compelling going into the summer is Luke going to win it, or are they going to have this other guy, John Hoyland, win it? And obviously that's been decided, and Hoyland's been released. There are a few guys competing for a few roster spots, and can they make them? One I wrote about today is Rasheen Ali, running back. I mean, I think in a lot of years he would make this team. But if Keaton Mitchell is back, and he appears to be back with his explosiveness and his burst, and if you keep Henry Hill and Keaton Mitchell as 3 running backs, I just don't know that there's a room to keep a 4th running back, especially if you're going to keep Ajabo. So Rasheen Ali is a guy that right now I said is going to be on the wrong side of the roster bubble. Now, does he go this weekend? Keaton Mitchell hasn't practiced this weekend. John Harbaugh has downplayed any kind of serious injury. They may be kind of guarded with Mitchell. But if Ali goes out, it's a huge game in Dallas and returns another long kickoff and runs for 106 yards, then that suddenly becomes an interesting one. And the other thing is people always want to know is that an undrafted rookie is going to make the team.
Ruben Lowry's name seems to come up an awful lot.
Yeah, Ruben Lowry is a guy that might. Again, he's an undrafted defensive back out of Tennessee, Chattanooga. And I can tell you from OTAs through spring minicamp and through this summer, the ball always finds him. He's just always around the ball. Pass breakups, interceptions. He's instinctive, and he gets to the ball. And John Harbaugh pointed out he's played every position in the secondary. He's kind of slots to me as a backup safety, and in a pinch he could be a slot corner. The biggest thing is, can he play special teams? I'll be very interested to see when they go to Dallas, who's on that first special teams unit. Is Lowry out there? Is the inside linebacker Jay Higgins out there who had the interception the other day? Because you see the guys who are playing special teams. Ruben Lowry is going to make the team if he can play special teams. That's going to be what's going to decide it. So how much room are those? How much run are they getting? Is David Ojabo playing special teams, which he hasn't done a lot of? Are they going to take a look at him and see, can you actually contribute on a punt team or a kick team or whatever it might be? So those are the kinds of things when you get to the second preseason game to look for. They're kind of below the radar, several layers of the onion down because the starters aren't going to play. But these are guys playing for their jobs, a few of them. A lot of the decisions have been made. But I think those are two guys that will be interesting to watch and see how their usage plays out this week.
Bo, terrific job on the cover story, and I just got to tell you, I'm really enjoying your notebook columns.
Thank you.
Them. Yep.
Of course, you can find those at PressBoxOnline.com. You can follow Bo on Twitter at B Smolka for all of the latest. Bo Smolka, appreciate you, pal. We'll catch up with you after this roster is set.
All right, thanks very much. Take care.
It's Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer with us here on GCR.
You think Ojabo? I still think he's going to make the team.
I'm really struggling with it, Stan, because I thought, last week, I said, there's no way. There's just no way they're letting a second-round pick walk.
Right.
There's no way they're doing that. But I did a little bit of research. It's not unprecedented with the Ravens to give up on Kamalai Correa, Bronson Kafusi. They have given up on guys before they got to the end of their rookie deals. It's not unprecedented. So everybody tells me Adisa Isaac is above. Everybody that I've talked to has said, we think Adisa Isaac is above Ojabo at this moment. And the point that Bo brings up that keeps ringing true is if he's not doing special teams, it's hard to get one of the final roster spots without being a special teams guy. I think there's a lot of people who are quietly wondering if the Ravens are calling Mike McDonald and saying, all right, what do you want?
Yeah.
You want to do a pick swap? Do you want to do a because they just know. Now, there's still 2 preseason games. Somebody else could still get hurt during practice. There's still a ways before this decision gets made. And
he can elevate his value.
Sure. He had a nice sack last week, obviously, in the preseason game. So I am very torn on this, Stan, what happens. A week ago, I would have told you there's just no way. But the more I talk to people, the more sense I get that.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're going to give him away.
Yeah.
I mean, they may trade him.
Right, but they're definitely not just going to
release
correct. Hey, high school sports season starts this week.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's
Stop
crazy,
it.
right?
I saw neighbors today. They must have been taking their kids to the school bus on the first day today.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
Wild. CountySports.zone will keep you updated on everything going on all throughout the state. Every score, every team, every sport. CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com.
When's Sam starting school?
Think that not this coming Monday, the following Monday is their first day of school, he's having a sleepover. He's very excited about that. Hasn't done that before. We come back in. I got to take a commercial break, Sam. We got to pay the bills so we can get out of here and go get that pig. He wants to do
What time's the pig deal?
Ice
won't be there?
We don't talk about it. We'll come back in. We'll chat with Juaron Watts-Brown of the Chesapeake Bay Sox. That's next. Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
The Celtic Warrior, Drew McIntyre, running away with the BMW Championship out in Owings Mills. It's a 10 under par, which is amazing.
What's Scotty
Blake
at?
Griffin is still in the league.
4 under. Blake Griffin is 3 under par. 3 under par, but he hasn't started playing yet today. Scotty's 4 under, hasn't started playing yet today. I believe his name is
Mac is in.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac is in second. I believe his name is Robert McIntyre, is leading the BMW Championship.
10 under.
10 under. 5-stroke lead out at Caves Valley if you're headed out there this weekend. Joining us now here on GCR, one of the newest members of the Orioles organization. He came over in the Seranthony Dominguez trade with the Toronto Blue Jays. He is pitcher Juaron Watts-Brown of the Chesapeake Bay Sox, and he is with us this morning here on GCR. Juaron, it's Glenn and Stan here in Baltimore. It's great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Juaron, I know a lot was made the week of the trade about how Seranthony Dominguez had been like in Baltimore playing the Blue Jays, and in between games of a doubleheader, he had to switch clubhouses and go report to his other team. You kind of had a similar experience that day, correct?
Yeah, the exact same, actually.
So what is that like? Like, can you describe how weird of a feeling that is, where you're like, all right, so I'm at work. I'm going somewhere else. I'm with these guys. Like, what is that?
I feel like that's what made the trade so weird for me, honestly. Like, I feel like you hear about people getting traded and you can imagine what it feels like, but it was like I didn't really go nowhere. I showed up as a Fisher Cat, and then I finished the week as a Bay Sox. And I don't know, just looking at the guys across the dugout, they obviously were chirping me and stuff like that. So no, yeah, it was definitely weird, but cool experience.
Which uniform do you look better in?
I think the Bay Sox.
Yeah, that's definitely the right answer.
That's the right
Yeah,
answer.
I think they got some better looking jerseys.
What is it like when you, like, in that situation when you're going to play for a new team? Do you have to like walk around and introduce yourself to everybody? Do you assume they'll figure it out at some point? Do you ask for like a name tag?
Yeah, no. So I when I walked into the clubhouse, the Berto, our head coach, he introduced me. I said, "What's up?" to everybody, and then went in the office, talked to them. And as the week went on, I kind of just introduced myself to people, and they introduced themselves to me, and started chopping it up a little bit. But it was cool. It was smooth. I think I know everybody's name now. I think I'm good with everybody's name.
Hey,
I should be. It's my third week.
Right.
Hey, Juaron, I'm just curious, when a team acquires somebody like you, obviously they like the talent. Do they start off trying to change certain things, or do they discuss things with you? What's the communication been about their approach versus Toronto's approach developing you?
The first week they kind of just brought me in and kind of talked about what I had been working on with the Blue Jays, like what my goals were kind of through this year. And then I kind of opened it up to them, and they said they didn't really want to, put too much on my plate, obviously being traded to a new org and having to just get comfortable with that. But I told them I was really open to listening to what they had to say about what's going to make me better, because obviously they traded for me for a reason. So they had some stuff in mind. We kind of talked about some stuff like developing my changeup more, and getting my heater to better zones than I was before. There hasn't been too much outside of that, obviously, just because we're already kind of late in the year and still being new. But we kind of got on the same page of what's going to make me a big league starter. And I assume that as the rest of the season goes on through the off season into spring training, that there'll be more communication about what they see for me over the next coming years.
He is Juaron Watts-Brown. He is with us here on GCR. Juaron, a couple things that you said in there. I just wonder, like, what are the emotions like when you go through something like this? Is it anxiety? Is it excitement that there's another organization that singled you out as a guy that they wanted? Is it disappointment because you had so much invested? Like, what does it do emotionally when you go through something like this?
I feel like it's a little bit of everything, honestly. It's kind of hard feelings towards the Blue Jays because, like, damn, like, y'all drafted me and y'all could just give me up. It's excitement because it's another opportunity with another team that sees something in me that maybe the Blue Jays didn't. I would say, like, maybe a little bit of anxiety is part of, like, going into a whole new org, having to meet a whole bunch of new people, and getting comfortable with them. Obviously, being with an org for 2 years, you meet a bunch of people and start getting close with everybody. So having to develop new relationships and stuff like that. But for the most part, I feel like those have been like light feelings, like for the most part. It's the same thing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it to the big leagues. And it just happens to be with a new team and a new group of guys. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm more excited than anything just because of how the trade went down and who it was for and the situation that the Orioles have.
Juaron, I'm just curious, looking at your New Hampshire numbers, 51 innings, 4 home runs, 51 2/3 innings, 4 home runs. So far with the Bay Sox, 8 2/3, 3 home runs. The strikeouts to walks are nice, 13-4. But what's happened with giving up the long balls in such a short span there?
I've given up home runs on good pitches. I mean, if you've seen the home runs that I've given up over the last couple outings, you'll see, like, they're not pitches right down the middle, like they're not hung, like they were just good pitches. They were just a good piece of hitting. Okay. I haven't given up very many this year, and maybe this is just a short stint of me giving up a couple and hopefully go back to not giving up very much more, but it's just the way the game is.
He is Juaron Watts-Brown. He's with us here on GCR. Juaron, you referenced that, like, the plan is they want you to be a starter at the major league level. The quote-unquote experts that were analyzing the trade after it was made said, well, we're not sure if Juaron, he could be a starter, and maybe he really profiles as a reliever. I'm going to guess, based on the way that you say it, that, well, I know the way that it works. You're going to do anything you can to try to help a team to get to the big league level. I know that's the way that the game is played, but it sounds like it is a priority for you that you believe you are a starting pitcher at the major league level.
Yeah, I do believe so. I've been a starter my whole life, and I feel like I've been a good one. Obviously, I've gone through tough times, just like any starter has, but that's part of the process of playing this game and learning and getting better. I've made a tremendous jump from last year to this year of being a starter as far as cutting my walk numbers down and getting more contact outs and still keeping the strikeouts. So I think as I get a little bit older and get more years under my belt, I'm just going to continue to become a better starter. I think that I have 4 good pitches, Changeup's kind of getting there. But I think I'm a guy that can give you 6+ innings once I, get to that major league level. Because obviously you're not going to get to that major league level until you're ready for that. But I think at that time I'll be able to be one of the better starters for this org.
One question about what you just said about your walk totals going down. They are. How have you decided to work on that? In other words, what have you done to your repertoire, or is it the consistency of the mechanics of your delivery? How have you worked on lessening the walks?
Just emphasizing being in the zone. Obviously, I've had good strikeout numbers my whole life, so it's like I get outs in the zone, I get swing and miss in the zone, and I get weak contact. It's about just not falling behind. So being in the zone early and then getting out of the zone late is really what the big emphasis was, being consistent in my delivery with my fastball, because obviously when my fastball is good, everything else is going to play even better. So that's been the biggest thing for me this year, is just being really controlling the zone, because when I'm doing that, I'm successful.
And then I guess what else is a priority for you, Juaron? Like, again, as you point out, it's an odd time to come over because it's so late in the season, but what else would you say, hey, as I make – this is the thing I either need to do more consistently or even better in order to be confident that I'm ready for the major league level?
I would still say just that fastball command and developing that changeup. Changeup's a good pitch to, get lefties off the heater and the curveball and slider, but then even to the righties, which I feel like I struggle with more than lefties, is getting them off that fastball. And if I can command that changeup inside the righties, it just opens up everything else for me.
Juaron Watts-Brown. Let me remind everybody, the Bay Sox are back at home this weekend. Of course, the Orioles are on the road, so a great chance to get down and check them out. Tonight, fireworks, football night, and daddy-daughter date night. They got fireworks again tomorrow, and tomorrow is, to me, the best event the Bay Sox do every year and one of the best events in all of minor league baseball. It's Touch-a-Truck Day. When my kids were young, they lost their minds because they just get to go on all of these various work, construction, emergency trucks and blare the horns.
I think Juaron really cares about that.
I don't think he's going to be doing. I mean, unless you tell me otherwise, Juaron. I don't think Juaron's going to be doing it. But I'm telling you, if he had a young kid,
it
pushing
would be. It to the.
I'm telling you, man. For young kids, this is the day. This is the day.
I do have a young one. So
do you?
He might enjoy that.
How old's
your son?
He's a year and 4 months.
Dude, wow. He would that was about the age where I started taking my sons to Touch a Truck Day with the Bay Sox. It is awesome.
I'll have to get him out here.
It is awesome, man. Get to baysox.com. Check it all out there.
We got to ask him one question. Have you eaten any steamed crabs yet here in Maryland?
I haven't. I've heard there was somebody that was telling me that was at the game that there's a spot in Baltimore that's tremendous.
I can't remember.
We'll get you there. Here's the thing. We'll get you there. We'll make that happen. We'll coordinate it. Right. We'll get you dinner. That'll be on us. On Stan specifically. Stan will put it on his tab here in the coming weeks. Juaron, where can Orioles fans be giving you a follow on social media?
Twitter or Instagram.
And what's the handle?
For Twitter, it's Juaron Watts. JUARON WATTS, and then on Instagram it's Juaron_.
Excellent.
And do you like to be called Juaron, or I heard somebody refer to you as Watts? Watts,
Yeah, Juaron. People have said JWB before or J.
Okay.
Juaron works though.
Excellent.
And you can trust people with 3 names?
Get out of here. It's Juaron, thank you for taking the time
Thanks
for
very
us.
much, Juaron.
We're really looking forward to seeing what you're going to bring to this organization in the coming years, man. Enjoyed the conversation. Appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Juaron Watts-Brown with us here on GCR. Intriguing, obviously, another intriguing piece that they brought in at the deadline.
Clearly got a live arm. I think it's going to boil down to his ability to throw strikes.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt about it. All right, we're going to wind down here for a Friday edition of the program. Can we do a quick tidbit, Griffin, or should we save it? You tell me.
Yeah, I think we can make
Okay,
it quick
tidbit
here.
brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star back this October at Fair Hill in Cecil County. Maryland 5-Star with a number 5.us. Maryland 5-Star.us in order to get your tickets.
I mentioned Jose Ramirez multi-homer game earlier this week. He is now tied for 8th most multi-homer games among active players. So there are 7 players with more than 27 multi-homer games.
Trout.
Trout is on the list, yes. He
Machado.
is 7th. Machado is number 2 among active, 43 multi-homer
Harper.
games. Harper's on the list, yeah.
Schwarber.
Schwarber is.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is number 1.
That makes
44
sense.
multi-homer.
How about Goldschmidt?
Goldschmidt would be tied with Jose Ramirez.
How about Alex Bregman?
Not Bregman.
I'll still try Altuve.
No Altuve.
No, he's not a big home run hitter, but thought there was a chance. Salvador Perez.
No Salvi.
Bobby Witt.
No Bobby Witt, not yet.
Freddie Freeman.
No Frederick Freeman.
Matt Olson.
No Matt Olson.
You know, he's got like a 750 game consecutive games played streak.
Olson's 13th.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's going to beat Cal.
Probably. Most likely going to get there.
Only needs 2,000 more.
Stanton.
Stanton is on the list. Yeah,
Stanton.
he's number 3. Judge
So
Machado.
what are we down to?
Stanton.
We need 2
we need
more?
number 5. Yeah.
Guerrero.
Mm-mm.
Arenado.
Mm-mm.
It's somehow already Shohei.
Mm-mm.
It's got to be an active player.
Shohei's got 22. He's 17.
gotta
I mean,
yeah, it is an active player. It is a teammate of Shohei.
It's a teammate. And we already said Freeman.
Max Muncy.
Nope. Not
Did we say
Max
Mookie Betts?
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts.
Betts.
Mookie Betts.
Mookie
There you
Betts.
go.
And then tied with J. Ram is Juan Soto and George Springer and Goldie.
Excellent.
Very
Excellent. Tidbit was also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. Big UFC fight tomorrow night. Best place to watch it for free inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control, it's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
That's true. That's all they'll ever ask about. Appreciate the BMW Championship again. Get out there this weekend and check it
heading
out.
out there now.
Excellent. Speaking of which, here's what's coming up this weekend, tubular-wise. The BMW Championship right now on ESPN Plus moves to Golf Channel at 2 o'clock. Today, tomorrow, starts on ESPN Plus at 9 a.m., Golf Channel at 1, and then NBC at 3 o'clock. Sunday, a little bit different. ESPN Plus, 9 a.m., noon on Golf Channel, and 2 o'clock on NBC. Orioles Astros tonight, 8:10 on Masson 2. Brandon Young, Framber Valdez.
Future Oriole.
Framber Valdez.
No, probably not.
Probably
Almost
not.
certainly not.
Tomorrow.
Brandon Young.
Yeah, unfortunately. Tomorrow, 7:10, Cade Povich, Jason Alexander. It's amazing that Jason Alexander's found work as a pitcher all these years
Well,
later.
he had the connection working
Oh,
for
right,
the Yankees.
That's
yeah.
a great point. I had forgotten about that. That's on Masson, too. Also on Masson on Sunday because the Nationals are on Roku. 2:10.
It was great when George Costanza was throwing. He threw 5 no-hit innings against the Yankees.
How about
Sunday.
that? How about that? Dean Kramer and Christian Javier, the pitching matchup on Sunday. We got a whole Seinfeld theme going on today.
Kramer and
Tonight,
Kramer against
yeah,
Jason
right?
Alexander would have been.
Tonight, Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena for TNA Emergence at 8 o'clock.
They should like manipulate it
To make sure that
Kramer
happens.
against
You're not wrong.
Alexander.
You're not wrong. That's on TNA Plus tonight. And Griffin will be there taking
yeah.
pictures and signing autographs if you want to meet him. And everything else, you can go to glennclarkradio.com. Anything that stands out non-sports-wise?
The 2 things that stuck out most to me were so there's the show people are excited. There's a John Grisham like an adaptation to a TV show, The Rainmaker on USA.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that premieres
I have seen a
tonight
lot
at
about
10. So people are excited about that. And then Netflix has a Fit for TV, The Reality of the Biggest Loser. New
okay.
series where like they're diving into like the behind the scenes, I guess, and how they wanted grossly fat people, like grossly overweight people, and it was kind of like So it was weird because it was like they wanted really, kind of horrifying stories, but also like this show did help a lot of people because it inspired a lot of people to lose weight. So that's on Netflix, among other things. Go to Talk Radio.
Very good. Stan, you're back in action on Monday?
Oh, Storage Wars season 16 finale.
But I haven't been caught up on the season. I don't know if I would not even understand the plot, right?
Binge the whole season.
Stan back in action on Monday with Ross and Luke. Yep. Of course, Power Rankings as well, PressBoxOnline.com. Do you want to say hi?
No, what time is it?
Oh, what time is it? It's noon. We got to go.
It's noon.
Go get your lunch. It's in the fridge. Go get it. We'll have to eat it. We're eating in the car, though. All right, whatever. We're eating in the car.
Gatorade.
Yeah. Right. No, we got to eat in the car. We got to go. All right, thanks today to Bo Smolka. Thanks to Juaron Watts-Brown. You don't get this on 105.7 The Fan. They're not doing that. Thanks to them. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section.
GBR's coming pretty soon.
That's right.
Moose.
Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Mike Mayock's joining us on Monday, you say? Yes. That's excellent. Look forward to chatting with him about the Ravens. He was out in Owings Mills recently. Don't forget the Bat Around with Paul and Zach on Sunday night as well. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel, the Maryland 5-Star, the BMW Championship, Maryland Cycling Classic, Maryland Sports in general, the Costas Inn, and so many more. Thanks to Stan. Thanks to Griffin. Follow him at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great weekend. Go Birds. Do we care who wins the BMW? Blake Griffin. Yeah, go Blake Griffin.
Or Drew McIntyre.
Sure. Go Course. Duke sucks.